So, as promised, here's the introduction vlog to the lake that I'm going to be fishing next weekend. I'm going to talk about some of the things, some of the ideas that they've got, what they're going to be doing. They've got a little stock pond, which I'll get to that very shortly. So I'm going to give you a quick scan of the lake, talk about what they're going to be doing going forward. There's a couple of guys on already, so obviously won't be recording around their bivvies because that's not very nice. But when I first arrived, the sun is shining and the lake just looks good. So I've not seen any fish show yet, but hopefully I could get lucky and get a show or two on camera, which would be very nice. So let's show you around. So obviously that's the hut, and then this bank that I'm just showing you now, this is the day bank. Obviously because they've got caravans there, so obviously you don't want people's buzzers going off, and it's not very wide up that section. We're coming round to the back part of the lake, which is there's like a bit around the corner, which I'll show you that in a bit, so that's fine. And then coming round to the night bank. There we go. So on the night bank there's 14 night pegs, and on the day bank there's 10 day pegs. Obviously I'll show you around the pegs in a second and tell you a bit about what fishery manager is going to be doing and the ideas that the fishery has at the moment. So we're just coming up to one of the night pegs now. As you can see, there's a bit of work that needs to be done on this one, but there's still plenty of room for your bivvy to go on. Then you've got your platform for your rods. This is peg 34. There is another night peg up to the left which isn't open yet because it just needs a bit of work to clear it. But as you can see, there's a nice bit of water out in front of you. Got the margins down here. And even though we've not had great weather, it's been raining a fair bit, the pathway very solid, feels more like stone and gravel with a thin layer of mud over the top, so you're not going to be getting too muddy by walking around. So here's another one, here's the next night peg on. Again, loads of space for a big bivvy on here. Easily fit a two-man, loads of space. And then obviously you've got your platform within a few steps of your bivvy front, so it's not very far to get to your rods. Again, loads of water, got some really nice looking margins. You can see the reeds are just starting to come up now already. And then obviously you've got this right hand margin. Now I'll show you where you can pretty much get to, because on the other side of the tree, let's zoom in, don't know if you can see that on the other side there, but there's a tree that comes out and across, and you can just about see the peg just behind the tree. I'll show you that in more detail in a bit. They are allowing bait boats, as long as you don't take the mech and you're boating across into somebody else's swim. So this one, if you've got a little bait boat just to get up along this margin, it's lovely. You know, you can't cast across it to the margin really, because you've got a tree there. But a little boat, but again, got plenty of water out in front of you. This peg's got a weigh bar for your scales. That's already been put in. This here was a peg, but this one's been taken out. As you can see, it's not very big, and you even as a single bivvy, you're going to be encroaching onto the pathway. So I think they've made the right choice on that one. And this is the tree that is sticking out that you wouldn't be able to cast past. So here's the next one. Again, there's plenty of room on these bivvy pegs. There's loads of room. A few steps down. A few steps down to the platform. Nice overhanging tree there. I think when the trees are in full bloom, this place is just going to look stunning. You know, get down here in the margins. Got open water as well, obviously. So it's very nice. On the next peg, I'll do another scan of the lake for you. Look at that. You know, loads of room. You know, it's a couple of steps down to the platform. Every platform that I've been on, very sturdy. So we'll just have another scan of the lake a minute. I'll do a few different scans of the lake from different pegs, just so you can see. Like I say, hopefully we may get lucky and have a fish show while we're doing it, which would be nice to have that on camera. And again, you've got the margins here to the right hand side of the peg, which the next peg can't get to. So you've basically got your own water pretty much all the way around on all these pegs. This is peg 28. This one's got a weigh bar, little steps down, and again, you know, it's a sturdy platform. You know, this one seems to be like on a bit of a point where it's coming out into the lake a little bit. I've been told it's averagely 17 to 20 wraps to the other side. Obviously you can't fish to the other side due to the day bank, but if you're looking about 8 wraps, 8.5 to 9 wraps maybe to the middle, so you've got plenty of water. This is the peg for peg 28. It's huge. If you've got a Titan T2, you're easily fitting it on there. Easily. My one-man bivvy's going to look tiny on there. And again, this is peg 27. Huge. I can't think of a two-man bivvy that might not fit on some of these pegs. You know, it's, if you're here for a week and you've got a two-man, then yeah, you've got plenty of space. And this peg is very nice. You've got a reed bed to your right. I've asked the fishery manager whether they're going to be taking all these out. They're not. They're going to be leaving them in. It's a safe haven, and it's just another place to fish to. You've got your tree on the left hand side here, so you're in your own little bay really on this section. Again, very nice out open water. Another thing to point out on the pegs, as you can see, they're quite open at the back at the moment. So what they're going to do, as you can see, quite open. I think the landowner, the person that got the field behind, has taken some of the trees down at the back. But what they're going to do, they're going to build it up and basically make it like a wicker back to stop any of the wind coming from the back end, which it's just going to enclose your swim or your peg, so you've got no wind, which again, really good idea. All these ideas, they're going to take time, but the ideas, they're just going to make your swim more comfortable, less wind, and it's just going to be really nice. Right, we'll have a quick walk up to the next sections, and I'll show you what's going on up there. So here's the next one up. So again, there's the peg. We've got this side of the reeds to fish to. A few little snaggy, well, not snaggy trees, because apparently a lot of the snags have been taken out already for the work that they've done. As you can see, you've got the guys fishing over there. Like I say, with 14 people, even if the 14 night pegs are full, there's still plenty of room and plenty of water for everybody. Now this bit up here is more like a point going into the lake, and it's, even though the pegs are quite close, it's more like a social swim. Obviously I'm not going to talk too much walking past this bit, but obviously I will record it as we're going through. The fishery manager's already started chipping some of the pegs. You got the stock pond behind, which I'll come to that very shortly. there you got, at that point, you've got 3 pegs together. But each peg has got plenty of water of its own. As you can see across there, fishery manager's taken some trees out, which were sticking in the water. And then we're getting round to the dog leg part, so to speak. Again, you know, started wood chipping the pegs. We go right round to the last night peg, and we'll do a scan of this section. So this one's not been wood chipped yet, but it's nice. You've got a lot of water just on this section. It's hard to tell, but there are some overhanging trees. Obviously, I think once they're in full bloom, they'll be very easily seen. Let's see if we can get a better angle from just round on this bank up here. From this end peg, obviously you've got all this bank here. So if you do use a bait boat, you can easily get anywhere along this bank. You've got a fair chunk of water just for yourself, and you've got 2 banks, you've got a corner to fish to. You know, if you cast, you can always walk round this bank. Again, it's not muddy. You know, the ground is very solid, and if you have a look at the rest of the grounds around, it's very wet and muddy. But the pathway around here is very easy. You know, there's the last peg over there. If you can get your rigs in, just down along this bank, there's little places where you can get your bait in by hand. This little corner peg's got loads of options. At the moment, this is the shallow end of the lake. I believe it's between 3 and 4 foot. As it goes round, it goes down to, as it goes round the corner, it goes down to 5 foot. And at the where we started the video, that's about 6.5 foot, I believe, from what the fishery manager said. Now I'm going to be coming here. I'm not getting any privileges. I'm paying like everybody else. No, that's a lie. The first 400 members this year get a 24-hour session free. So that's my free 24-hour session. I'm not getting any other benefits. All the information that the fishery manager has told me about the lake, he's more than willing to tell everybody about the lake, because he wants people to catch. That's what we go fishing for. Okay. We'll go up to the next swim up a minute. We'll have a bit of a look at the sort of water that you've got from this peg. Obviously this one's been chipped. You've got your trunks around the sides and back. And I still think you'll still get a 2-man on there. It might be a little bit tighter if you, but I reckon you'll still get a 2-man on that peg there. You know, there's a lot of the pegs you would have no issues with a 2-man bivvy at all. So as you can see, you've got that far margin across there. You've got a fair bit of water in front of you. I don't know how far across that is. I've actually forgot to ask the fishery manager when we was having a walk around earlier. But I would say that's 6 to 8, between 6 and 8 wraps, I would think. And when I'm talking wraps, I use a 12-foot rod, so I'm talking 12 foot per wrap. I know a lot of people use the 10-footers. Now this one is a peg that I really like. Now the peg for your bivvy's quite a size. You've got your stage for your rods. But look at all that water in front of you for this peg. Looking at where the upper peg is, I would say you've got from this tree all the way round to maybe that tree there, maybe a little bit further around. That's a lot of water. And you've got all the far banks to fish to. You've got open water to fish to. That's, for one peg, that's a lot of water. What I will say is, yes, you can see pegs on the far bank. But what the fishery manager's done is, I'll walk back up this way a little bit so I can zoom in and show you. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a yellow barrier there. So anything to the left hand side of that barrier, that's the main body of water. That's where all your day pegs are, down that end. All the pegs up this end, they're not going to be used as day pegs, because if you imagine you're on this point here, you've got somebody in there, that corner there, you've not even got maybe 4 rod lengths, 3 rod lengths maybe to the middle, and obviously you're then sharing water, and then you've got another peg just to the right there. It'd get very cramped here, so they've decided that they're going to cut off this part on the far bank, so this is just for night water. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a quick scoot round to what is at present the stock pond, and we'll have a bit of a chat about that. Now, I know you've not seen me much in this video. I'm sure that's good for everybody. But this video is not about me. This is all my vlogs are about what I do and where I'm going to be fishing. Now, this is the stock pond, or was the stock pond. What the fishery is now going to do is they're going to be turning this into a fishing school for youngsters on a Saturday and Sunday, AM and PM sessions. I might get this wrong. I believe that there's going to be 6 pegs on here, and I'm going to have a walk around it in a second, because there's something I want to show you on the other side for what they want to do. This is just to teach people, teach youngsters that they haven't got to sit behind an Xbox, you know, to get out, some fresh air and enjoy getting out. The stock, I'm not sure what they're putting in yet, or what they're going to keep in, but as you can see, they've already started work on the outsides of the lake. Now, if there's six pegs on it, there's plenty of water for each of the youngsters, so they hopefully won't get tangled up with each other. You know, got some reed beds in there. Walking around here where they've actually cleared it, it's all clay. You know, there's a bit of mud, but a lot of it's clay as we're walking around. Oh, it's windy in this bit. We'll have to walk around the other way to show you, to tell you about the other idea that they've got for this, for the training pond. Just get back up onto that bank. So this is the other side of the stock pond, but just here on the right hand side, they're going to be putting out a breakout decking with a gazebo. So I think that's going to be for your rig tying, tuition side of it, maybe for even the parents to sit and watch their kids. So as you can see, again, fishery managers started clearing all this, ready for it. Get a digger in and we should be fine. So I think it's a brilliant idea just to get kids out and learning. It's a really, really good idea. So we're back down at the main body of water, main part of the lake again. Like I say, this end's about, I believe, 6.5 foot, 6.5 foot. What we'll do in a minute is we'll have a walk along the day bank, and I'll show you along there, and then you can see how spaced out the night pegs are in comparison. It's very difficult to see it when we've been walking around. Do like this peg. Another couple of guys have just turned up. They're just setting up now. So we'll let them crack on. So we're going to have a quick walk along the day bank now and show you that. I'm going to go right up to the far end as well, so I can show you right down into that the dog leg part from this bank. So I'll just spin the camera around. There we go. Again, so got the little pontoons that come out. Again, very sturdy. You know. The day pegs are quite well spaced apart, so you're not having to, you're not fishing right next to each other. No. Between some pegs there's a bit more distance than others. It's like this one here. Is there a peg number on this one? So this is peg number 4, and then you know, there's a fair distance to peg to the next peg. You've got all the reed beds. when come summer they're going to be just carp holding places, these. So there you go, this is the next peg on. So you've got a fair distance between this peg and the next one. Got a tree here, so get a feeder or a waggler underneath there. I think I may have to just come down on a few day sessions as well and fish the day bank for a couple of my vlogs. Again, this side, the ground, it's not muddy, very hard, it's very fine gravel. So even if it has been raining, the chances are that you're not getting muddy, which is very beneficial. This tree here is broken off, but the fishery manager said that's coming out, that's going to be pulled out, so that's going to be done. Obviously we're coming up to the end of the day bank now, last few pegs. But as you can see, even if somebody's fishing the other side, you know, you've still got plenty of water on the day bank side. So yeah, it's like I say, it's quite wide. And like I say, we're coming up to the end of the day bank now. But I'm going to go right to the end of this bank, just to show you right down into the dog leg from this end, and just have a look at the margins where the night pegs can fish to. We'll have a quick walk around there in a second. Got all the reed beds on this side. You know, so we're now on the no fishing bank, and as you can see, got the guys fishing across there. They can fish right over to this side. So I'm pretty much near the first tree that I said for fishing from the corner swim over on the far bank there. So you've got all this margin, got an overhanging tree, There's a nice little gap in between the two trees that you can get a rig in quite easily, I would think. And then we'll go round to the what used to be the corner peg on the day side. And again, you can get in. If you can get into here, just off the tips of the trees, or even if you're using a boat, get underneath. There's the corner swim, just there. Show you all down this side of the margin for fishing the night swims on the other side. Now we've got some rushes there that you can get to from that corner swim, and then you start coming into the second from last swim's water. Just down here you've got rushes, you've got some little brambles overhanging. Just looks like in the summer this would be a nice area to be in. You know, you can come around this side, bait up by hand, you know, that one. Instead of using a spom or a spod, come around, bait up by hand, and then all the only disturbance that you're making then really is when you're making a cast. And if you're lucky, you get it first time. If you're unlucky like me, it might take a cast or two, but that's still better than casting a spom over the top, especially if you know that there's fish feeding. Just want to scare them away a little bit with a bit of bait maybe. And then you can just come down, round, go back round to your swim and try and get your rig on point. This is the corner that you'd be out of fish from the last night peg, right round in the corner. And like I say, I'm standing right at the water's edge here, so you can easily a couple of handfuls of boilies, a couple of spoonfuls of particle, and that is my intro vlog for Hurlston Hall. I will say, add one thing, Tuesday and Wednesday next week, which I believe is the 25th and 26th, no, could be the 23rd and 24th. Either way, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, they're going to be netting the lake. They're going to be taking out all the small fish, the big roach, bream, tench, and the crusions. They're definitely going to be going back in. I believe a lot of the smaller fish are going to end up in what was the stock pond that's now the training or teaching lake, or pool, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it the teaching lake because that's what it is. But yeah, they're going to do the netting, so hopefully on their Facebook page. Obviously, if you look for Hurlston Hall on Facebook, hopefully they'll put some really good videos up of the stock that they've netted and that we've seen. I will try and get down, depending if I'm fishing or not, since I'm off next week, and I have my vehicle, so I'm back on the road and I can get back fishing. So like I say, have a look at Hurlston Hall on Facebook, especially next week, when hopefully there'll be some videos uploaded of the netting of the lake, and hopefully some cracking pictures of and video of some cracking carp. Don't forget though, there is other species in here. It is classed as a coarse fishery, not a carp lake. So I was speaking to the fishery manager. Generally, if you're carp fishing, you generally don't get the bream. You might get the odd tench and crucian that'll take a 14-15 mil boilie, but very few bream are caught by the carp anglers. That's usually done by the day anglers, the match anglers on the day side. So, like I say, that's my introduction to Hurlston Hall. Thank you for watching the video. Sorry about if it's been a bit windy, because at certain times of the video, yes, it has been a bit windy. But thank you very much. Give us a thumbs up and a comment, and like I say, head over to their Facebook page and have a look. Thank you very much. Just one last thing to add. The fishery will be starting its own feeding program. The pellets will be available to buy shortly, I believe at £2 per kilo. Fresh cooked hemp and maize will also be available. Can't remember what they said as a price. That will be available soon, and at the moment they do have house pellets that are available. I do have one last picture for you, which I've been sent by the fishery manager, and this is what we go fishing for, as well as catching carp, but when you see it you'll understand. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.